Yo, what up? Placido Silva in the building with another one. Let's get it. I'm gonna make a fight prediction for Canelo El Saul Alvarez versus Billy Joe Sanders. Okay, in paper we have a great fight, a great boxer in Canelo Alvarez versus a southpaw boxer, mover, decent skills, Billy Joe Sanders. Okay, in paper it's a perfect fight, right? But we have to add everything in and dissect and see if Billy Joe Sanders can beat Canelo. Does Billy Joe Sanders has the power to knock Canelo out? Nope. Does Billy Joe Sanders has the cardio to beat Canelo decisively for 12 rounds? That's no. So automatically we'll have to assume that he will not beat Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? I'm rolling my window down. You know what I'm saying? I keep my shit old school. But if Billy Joe Sanders is allowed to use his nasal spray, Canelo is in for a long night, which I don't think he's going to be allowed to. You know what I mean? If you look at Billy Joe Sanders, let's say versus David Lemieux, I don't know if he was using the nasal spray. That was a great performance, but Canelo ain't no David Lemieux. Let's go back to Billy Joe Sanders versus Chris Eubank Jr. They fought in UK, and Chris Eubank Jr. is not his dad. His dad was a great fighter. People didn't like him because he was flamboyant. The man had style. He was confident in who he was. You know what I mean? And when you have those things, people generally don't like you. He was a great boxer, an educated man, carried himself like, he was the man, and people didn't like him. It rubbed people wrong. None of his fault, You have to be confident. You have to be who you are, and you got to do the things that, the things that make you happy, and that's what he did. And a lot of people didn't like him, and that has carried down to his son. But his son is not a great boxer like he was. You know what I mean? So, but still, when he fought Billy Joe Sanders, if you want to look at that thing, I'm biased. There's a lot of people. I think he beat Billy Joe Sanders. Billy Joe Sanders outboxed him for the first 5 rounds. After that, he put a beating on Billy Joe Sanders. But in England, with that crowd, with a pro Billy Joe Sanders crowd, he would never. And for the fact that they don't like the Eubank family, he wasn't gonna get that win. You know what I mean? So, but technically, we can get a lot from that fight on where Billy Joe Sanders stands. He's good for 5 rounds. But is he going to be able to outstand and outperform Canelo Alvarez for like 12 rounds? I don't think he can. And even if he did, he had to do it in an amazing fashion because the judges ain't going to do him no favor. You know what I mean? It's sad to say, but that's the reality. Boxing is a business. And at the end of the day, the Zone, Canelo Promotions, whatever's going on, they just sold 70,000 tickets, not because of Billy Joe Sanders, but because of Canelo Alvarez. So what that tells you, they eyeing up to sell 140,000 seats for the Canelo next fight. So there's no way Billy Joe Sanders gets a decision against Canelo Alvarez unless he did what Mayweather did to Canelo. Even with that, there was a judge that scored that fight as a draw. A judge saw Canelo Alvarez inching up to a draw against Mayweather, which that's bullshit. So that tells you the possibilities are very slim for Billy Joe Sanders to winning on cards. Can he do it? Of course he can, because anything can happen. It's boxing. Will he be allowed to do it? No way. We're looking to make money over here, you know what I mean? We don't care how you feel. Even if Billy Joe Sanders, outdo Canelo by this much, Canelo's still gonna get it. Because Canelo makes money. Not because he's good, because the Mexican fan base is actually the only fan base supporting fighters. They buy your merchandise, they buy your fights, they love you, and they support you. Why do you think Canelo don't fight Benavidez? Because when Canelo steps in the ring with Benavidez, Mexico will be divided. And once Mexico is divided, anybody can become the bigger draw. You know what I'm saying? The Mexican fans will not allow Canelo Alvarez to cheat David Benavidez because he's one of them. And at the end of the day, the Mexican fan base loves a good fight. If Canelo Alvarez fights Benavidez, he's not going to get no favors. There ain't going to be no decision given. The best fighter that night will win. That's why he will not fight Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's only 2 fighters in the middleweight division I'm talking about, from 60 to 68, that have a real chance of beating Canelo Alvarez. And the first one is Benavidez. Benavidez has the power, the combination, punching. He's younger, he's stronger than Canelo, and he's a monster. And he actually, I feel he has the power to hurt Canelo. I'm not going to say he stops Canelo, but you see Canelo on skates if he fights Benavidez. And he might knock him out, you know what I mean? The second fighter that I think has a great chance of beating El Canelo Saul Alvarez is Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade is the most talented American boxer. Him and Terence Crawford. I don't care what you think. I don't care what they told you. Demetrius Andrade, when he fights, he denies you a pocket. You can't fight him. You fighting at his range. I don't care what you do. Come forward, he ties you up. And he has the skills. He knows how to tie people up. It's an art. It's a lost art in boxing. For example, Joshua doesn't know how to tie people up. Every time he fights, he tries to tie people up. They still hitting him with punches. Maybe you need to take a page out of Demetrius Andrade's book on how to tie somebody up. You know what I mean? But getting back to Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade denies you a pocket. He moves left, moves right, and hits you with lead punches. A lead uppercut, right uppercut, or a lead left uppercut. A lead right hook. A straight left hand. You know what I mean? You follow him around, he stops on the dot, bam. So, he's not going to give Canelo a pocket to fight him. All that beautiful thing that they say Canelo does, el movimiento de la cintura, you have to be in a pocket to do that. Demetrius Andrade ain't giving you a pocket to do that. He's just going to tag you from a distance, pop, 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 pop. Keep moving and make you look stupid. That's why you won't fight him. We all know why. You know you can't beat him. But let's get back to the fight at hand. If Billy Joe Saunders had to beat Canelo Alvarez today, one thing, he has to be on his A game. Second thing, he has to find a way to bring that nasal spray with him so he can get that stamina. Because if he gas out against Canelo Alvarez, he'll get hurt. He'll get hurt. You can't gas out against Canelo Alvarez. You can't have a lapse in your concentration. Go back and look at the fight, Canelo Alvarez versus Floyd Mayweather. You know why Floyd Mayweather beat him? Floyd Mayweather, first round and 12th round, he has the same level of concentration. If not, I think he gets better. Mayweather in the third round is better than Mayweather in the first round. And Mayweather in the ninth round is way better than Mayweather in the third round. I'm talking about mentally and physically as well. Mayweather in the 12th round is as fresh as a Mayweather in the first round, and he's more concentrated than Mayweather in the first round. That's what it takes to be a great champion. You have to be concentrated, you have to be sharp, you have to be in your game for 12 rounds. Let me ask you guys something. You think Billy Joe Saunders can do that? I mean, we all want him to do that. I don't think he's the man to beat Canelo Alvarez. But saying that, I say it's going to be a good fight. And if he surprises us, then that would be a great surprise too, you know? It's time for somebody to add some excitement to boxing, you know? We're tired of watching Canelo Alvarez fight whoever he wants to fight. Dodge and duck and make business moves, which is okay. You got to get your money, you know what I mean? 70,000 people on the stands. Who's doing that? Nobody. So, you know, the promotion, the business side of it, props to Canelo, man. So let me know what you guys think. I'm picking Canelo, you know. I think he's an okay fighter, you know. But I don't see Billy Joe Saunders pulling out the upset today. You know what I mean? Not in these circumstances. You know, he looked good in the weigh-in, but is he really good? Is really in good shape? Is he bringing that nasal spray? Because I think if he does that, he has a slim chance. You know, I don't know if you remember the Mayweather fight. A judge had that fight a draw. This is when Mayweather was the pound for pound king of boxing. They were able to convince a judge to throw that fight off for Canelo Alvarez, or at least to make it look good. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and share it.